Moving from one GOP presidential candidate to another, Ron DeSantis said something recently that is raising eyebrows because of the violent nature of this rhetoric. As he talks about destroying the deep state, he said we need to, quote, start slitting throats, which maybe I'm just not in on all of the phrases that are used, but I've never heard that one to mean we're going to go and start knocking heads or whatever. Slitting throats, my goodness. Here's Ron DeSantis.
On bureaucracy, we're going to have all these deep state people, we're going to start slitting throats on day one and be ready to go. You're going to see a huge outcry because Washington wants to protect its own. But at the end of the day, this is a city that's failed this country.
Before the CNN anchor continues and then shows DeSantis getting asked about why he said that, this is what we've seen previously. You push the envelope to try to get attention and support within the GOP, it seems, with more edgy, violent, questionable rhetoric. Oh, Trump says he's going to crush the deep state. I'm going to slit the throats of the deep state. Why? What? Huh?
Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis escalating his rhetoric on the campaign trail, vowing to start slitting throats, in his words, in the federal bureaucracy on his first day in power. Those comments did not go unnoticed. Prominent federal unions are calling on DeSantis to retract his remarks, calling them, quote, dangerous, disgusting, disgraceful, and disqualifying. This afternoon, DeSantis offered up a response to the criticism.
I think people understand that we need to see changes, and so we'll bring that about. Well, you guys know come on, it's a figure of speech with that.
Joining me now is the national president of the American Federation.
Is it? I've just never heard that one used, I got to be honest. And regardless, in this moment, even I notice on this show, I try to really be careful with those types of phrases. Not that one has ever popped in my mind, but other ones that could even be mildly violence provoking or violence alluding to, because of the moment we're in, the context that we're in, and all these people making all of these wild calls for explicit violence. So then as a leader, you have the responsibility to be really careful with your language. We've seen what sort of subtle, not so subtle language can lead to. And even just saying lies like the election is being stolen, you need to walk to the Capitol, and all that can lead to January 6th. So then when you start saying we got to start slitting throats, and it just brings this conversation into another territory. And with the rhetoric that we see about the deep state being a bunch of all the QAnon terms that might get this video flagged, of child, sacrificing, that a lot of people have some detached from reality views about what this bureaucracy, what this federal government deep state is up to, and might really like the idea of what Ron DeSantis is saying. So the call to DeSantis and others would be, don't play around with language like that in especially this current moment, because of the tension, because of the potential for violence, the violence we've seen inflicted on people based on political views, disproportionately right-wing political views, when you look at the statistics on that. And so as a right-wing leader, you have a responsibility to be especially careful. And for Ron DeSantis, it's purposefully not being careful so that people get riled up, so that not that he's wanting a particular action to happen, but so that people go, oh, DeSantis, okay, he's pretty angry and radical too. So maybe he's like Trump 2.0, and maybe he's not any more moderate as some try to portray him to be. And that's what he's trying to do right now. We saw with Mike Pence calling for the banning of trans people from the military, following in line with Trump's call there. It seems as candidates try to compete with Trump and be relevant within the GOP, they'll sprint further and further right and use escalatory rhetoric like what we just saw there from DeSantis. And I wish it would stop. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.